Imagine a world before the dinosaurs, a time when Earth was dominated by strange and fearsome creatures. One of these creatures, which roamed the ancient landscapes over 250 million years ago. Of course, I'm talking about Gorgonopsid. This creature was a prehistoric predator unlike any other, and in this video, we're going to dive deep into what made it such an effective hunter. We'll explore its physical features, how it lived, and most importantly, how it hunted its prey with deadly precision. But first, let's get a clear idea of the time and place where the Gorgonopsid lived. The Gorgonopsids lived during the late Permian period, roughly 260 to 252 million years ago. This was a time before the dinosaurs, but still a critical era in Earth's history. The Permian period was marked by vast and diverse ecosystems, ranging from dense forests to dry, arid plains. Earth's continents were slowly converging into the supercontinent Pangaea, and the climate was mostly hot and dry, though there were some regions with lush plant life. In this ancient world, the Gorgonopsid ruled as one of the top predators. It was found in what is now South Africa, Russia, and other parts of Eurasia. These areas, during the Permian period, were home to a mix of prehistoric reptiles, amphibians, and therapsids, the group that includes mammals and their ancestors. Now, to understand how the Gorgonopsid hunted, we need to first look at its anatomy. Gorgonopsids are part of a group called therapsids, which are often referred to as mammal-like reptiles. However, despite the reptilian label, they had many features that would later evolve into mammalian characteristics. A Gorgonopsid could range in size from a medium-sized predator to something truly massive, with some species reaching up to 10 feet, 3 meters, in length. Its body was built for power and speed, with a long, flexible spine and robust legs that allowed it to move quickly across the landscape. But the real weapons that set the Gorgonopsid apart were in its skull and jaws. One of the most striking features of the Gorgonopsid was its saber-like canine teeth. These elongated, razor-sharp teeth were the hallmark of its hunting strategy. They were designed to deliver fatal bites to its prey. Its jaws could open incredibly wide, allowing the Gorgonopsid to sink these massive teeth deep into the flesh of its victims. The rest of the Gorgonopsid's teeth were also specialized. It had shearing teeth that helped slice through flesh. Much like a modern-day carnivore, its strong jaw muscles gave it a powerful bite force, capable of puncturing thick hide and bone. These anatomical traits made the Gorgonopsid a highly efficient predator, perfectly adapted to its role as an apex predator. Its keen sense of smell and vision also played a role in its hunting abilities. Though we can't know exactly how advanced these senses were, paleontologists suggest that, like modern predators, the Gorgonopsid had forward-facing eyes that allowed for binocular vision, giving it depth perception when stalking prey. Combined with its likely acute sense of smell, the Gorgonopsid could detect potential meals from a great distance. The Gorgonopsid was an ambush predator. The Gorgonopsid didn't need to chase its prey over long distances. Instead, it used the element of surprise and struck with overwhelming force. Imagine a Gorgonopsid stalking through a Permian landscape. Its muscular legs carried it swiftly across the terrain, but it moved low and cautiously, keeping to the shadows of ancient ferns and low-growing cycads. As it approached a herd of Dicynodonts grazing nearby, it would have been patient, waiting for the right moment. The Gorgonopsid's speed was one of its greatest assets. Once it got within striking distance, it could cover the remaining ground in a matter of seconds. Its powerful legs launched it forward, and its strong, flexible spine allowed it to twist and turn mid-sprint, perfect for locking onto a moving target. Once the Gorgonopsid closed the distance, it would lunge forward, jaws agape. With its saber-like fangs aimed at the prey's neck or underbelly, it would clamp down with incredible force. The sharp canines punctured deep into flesh, severing arteries and causing massive blood loss. The large jaws and strong neck muscles then worked together to shake and tear at the prey, causing devastating wounds. If the prey was large, like a Dicynodont, the Gorgonopsid might have delivered a bite to a vulnerable area, like the throat or underbelly. where the prey's defenses were weakest. If the prey was smaller or faster, like a captor-hinid, it might rely on its speed to chase the animal down, cornering it before delivering a quick, fatal bite. Once the Gorgonopsid had its prey in its jaws, it used its powerful limbs and strong neck to wrestle the animal to the ground. The prey's struggles might have been desperate, but the predator's sheer power and biting strength would have overwhelmed most creatures in short order. The result was often a swift death, as the Gorgonopsid's powerful bites would cause massive trauma to internal organs and blood vessels. During the Permian, there was no shortage of potential prey for the Gorgonopsid. The land was filled with a variety of herbivores and smaller carnivores, each presenting different challenges for the predator. One of its primary targets was the Dicynodont, a group of stocky, herbivorous therapsids. These large barrel-shaped creatures, some as big as 6 feet long, were slow and heavily built. Although some Dicynodonts had protective beaks or bony coverings, they were vulnerable to the Gorgonopsid's ambush strategy. With a swift sprint and a powerful bite to the neck or underbelly, the Gorgonopsid could inflict fatal wounds, often targeting the weakest members of a herd. Another frequent prey item was the prehistoric, a large, slow herbivore covered in bony armor. Despite their size, up to 10 feet long, and heavy defense, the Gorgonopsid could exploit softer areas like the throat to bring them down with its saber-like teeth. Smaller prey included Dictodon, a burrowing herbivore, and captor-hinids, early reptiles. These creatures were quicker and smaller, but the Gorgonopsid's speed allowed it to catch and kill them easily. It used its ambush strategy, stalking these animals near their burrows or grazing spots and dispatching them with a quick, precise bite. Labyrinthodonts, large amphibians resembling crocodiles, were also hunted when they ventured onto land. The Gorgonopsid's agility and powerful jaws allowed it to overcome the slower amphibians, delivering lethal bites to their soft underbellies or necks. Though primarily a hunter, the Gorgonopsid was also likely an opportunistic scavenger, feeding on carrion when the chance arose. This ability to hunt a wide variety of animals, from large herbivores to small reptiles and amphibians, and even scavenge when necessary, made the Gorgonopsid one of the most successful predators of the Permian. The Permian world was harsh, and competition for food was fierce. Gorgonopsids not only had to hunt and kill to survive, but they also had to avoid the dangers posed by other predators. Though Gorgonopsids were often at the top of the food chain, there were still risks from other large therapsids and reptiles, as well as environmental dangers like droughts, wildfires, and changing climates. In addition, the Permian period was coming to an end, and with it, the era of the Gorgonopsids. The Permian Triassic extinction event, which occurred around 252 million years ago, wiped out the majority of life on Earth, including the Gorgonopsids. This mass extinction was the most devastating in Earth's history, eliminating around 90% of all species. Volcanic activity, climate change, and changes in sea levels are thought to have contributed to this global catastrophe. But before the world collapsed into extinction, the Gorgonopsids enjoyed a reign as the apex predators of their time. For millions of years, these fearsome creatures ruled the land, feared by herbivores and respected by smaller carnivores alike. Although the Gorgonopsids went extinct during the Permian Triassic extinction event, their legacy lives on. They were part of a crucial chapter in the evolutionary story that eventually led to the rise of mammals. Therapsids, the group to which Gorgonopsids belonged, would give rise to mammals millions of years later. The Gorgonopsid represents a transitional phase, an evolutionary experiment in combining reptilian traits with what would become mammalian features. Today, we can look at the fossils of these incredible creatures and learn about the ecosystems of the distant past. Through studying creatures like the Gorgonopsid, paleontologists gain a better understanding of how life evolved and how Earth's ecosystems have been shaped by the rise and fall of different species. In conclusion, the Gorgonopsid was a predator perfectly adapted to its environment, armed with speed, power, and deadly fangs. It ruled the land as one of the top predators of the late Permian, leaving behind a fascinating legacy in the fossil record. Although we can only reconstruct its life from fossils, it's clear that the Gorgonopsid was a fearsome hunter, capable of taking down even the toughest prey. So, the next time you think of apex predators, remember that long before lions, tigers, or even dinosaurs, there was the Gorgonopsid, a true king of its time.